After looking at the 2024 nominees for the NBA Hall of Fame, one candidate stands out to us. In our minds, Shawn Marion was one of the most underrated and underappreciated superstars of his entire era. And in this video, we're here to tell you his story and explain to you why he was overlooked in his career but was one of the game's most unique and effective superstars. Marion claims that he should be a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame, stating in an interview, "What I've done on this court in the last 16 years at my position, I don't think nobody has ever done it the way I've done it." And that statement couldn't be more true. Shawn Marion was drafted by the Phoenix Suns with the 9th overall pick in 1999. He quickly proved to be an athletic freak of nature. He was 6'7", but his freakish wingspan allowed him to dominate on the defensive side of the floor. He also could run the floor like a cheetah and had some really nasty bounce. TNT analyst Kenny Smith nicknamed him the Matrix during his first preseason in the NBA. In his rookie year, Matrix made immediate contributions that earned him a spot on the NBA All-Rookie team. One of the most noticeable aspects of his game was his awkward T-Rex-like short-arm jump shot that he could surprisingly knock down with incredible consistency. At first, Marion earned playing time by being a defensive disruptor, but the Suns realized that he had potential to be a lot more than that and gave him more opportunity to prove it in his sophomore season. And he didn't let them down. Before he truly hit his prime, Marion was given the best offensive opportunity of his entire career. And young Marion put up some crazy averages over a 4-year window. These numbers made Matrix a very unique superstar before he turned 25 years old. During this stretch, he ranked 7th in the NBA in win shares. The only players ranked higher than him were Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, and Tracy McGrady, all Hall of Famers. The reason Marion wasn't getting the same recognition as his peers was because scoring wasn't his greatest strength. His strength was actually his defensive versatility. In a lot of ways, young Marion profiled similarly to players like Scottie Pippen and Kawhi Leonard. When all three players entered the league, they were regarded as defense-first players and athletic specimens. Each of them made their first All-Star game at age 24. Let's compare their stats during their age 24 season. You could make a strong argument that Marion was the most valuable of the three at this stage of their careers. In 2004, Steve Nash signed with the Suns as a free agent, and it completely changed Marion's role. It was the beginning of the 7 seconds or less era in Phoenix, and Nash immediately became one of the most ball-dominant players in the entire league. Not only that, but Amari Stoudemire was assigned the role of secondary scoring option. This wasn't because he was a better scorer than Marion, but instead because Marion brought more versatility to the table. Stoudemire was great, but he was sort of one-dimensional as a pick-and-roll big. Meanwhile, Marion excelled at making backdoor cuts and could knock down threes, so for that reason, he became more of a third option in the Suns' attack. But Marion was selfless and accepted the role he was given without complaint despite losing touches on offense in the prime years of his career. Instead, he focused on guarding every position and scored tons of points in the fast break. The Phoenix Suns took the next step as a team that season. They finished with the best record in the NBA and ended up losing in the conference final. Marion maintained his offensive production with 2 less field goal attempts per game compared to his previous seasons. He also set new career highs in rebounds and blocks. He was a true team-first player. But the next season, Amari Stoudemire suffered a season-ending injury. A lot of media thought that it would spiral the Suns out of contention, but instead, Marion stepped right in as the secondary option and put up the best season of his entire career. Marion finished 10th in MVP votes that season, but probably should have finished higher considering the totality of his production. The Suns made it to the conference finals again before getting booted. And despite his production, Marion was getting massively underappreciated. He just capped off a 5-year stretch of seasons with averages over 20 points, 10 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block per game. To date, Shawn Marion is the only person to put up averages in this spread of statistical categories besides Akeem Olajuwon. Not bad company, am I right? Marion also did it while shooting over 80% from the line and over 35% from 3. He was truly one of a kind to ever exist. Though the Suns were a revolutionary basketball team, Marion's tenure ended without ever winning a championship. Shortly after, he made his way on to the Dallas Mavericks, where he further adapted his game to suit the slower pace of a Dirk Nowitzki-led offense. Once again, he was in an offense that designated him as a role player, so he had to create for himself with solid off-ball play. At this point in his career, he'd peaked athletically and had to rely a little bit more on his savviness to dominate defensively, which he did. The Mavericks went on to win the 2011 NBA championship over the Miami Heat in a finals, where once again Marion was overlooked. Surprised? Nowitzki and Kidd were being discussed as the two all-time great players that finally put a cap on their Hall of Fame careers. Marion, however, after defending LeBron James for the majority of the finals, was grouped in with Dallas's solid role players. In reality, Shawn Marion executed possibly the most daunting task in basketball. Shawn Marion held LeBron to 17.8 points per game in that series, but instead of the media recognizing Marion's greatness, they dumped on LeBron for choking. When Andre Iguodala and Kawhi Leonard played the exact same role defensively and allowed LeBron James to score way more points, they both won Finals MVP awards. But Marion never received the awards he deserved. Even though he put up defensive stats never seen before at the small forward position for the Suns, who were one of the best regular season teams in the league, he never once got voted onto an all-defensive team. It's truly baffling. Writers David Nelson and Damian Walker did a deep research dive on the 2006-2007 season and determined that Shawn Marion was actually deserving of the Defensive Player of the Year award that season. This is how they describe Shawn Marion. Long, strong, and athletic, Marion can keep up with the fastest point guards and is disciplined enough to defend the best low-post scorers. His ability to play the passing lanes and pick up steals or deflections is even more valuable because of his ability to run the floor or make the outlet pass. Combine this with the fact that he holds his own against any big man in the league when it comes to blocks and defensive rebounds, and you can understand why Shawn Marion gets our nod for Defensive Player of the Year. Traditionally, Marion has been viewed as a player without a position, but smart coaches and GMs can tell you that this is not a bad thing. And with the NBA game opening up more each season, players with Marion's defensive skill set will be more coveted than ever. By our count, Marion made a very strong case to be an All-Star 6 times and an All-Defensive Team player about 10 times. Accolades that, if added to his resume, would have made him a no-doubter for the Hall of Fame. Marion was also a winner. A lot of players tend to falter when it matters most, but Matrix was built for the playoffs. As mentioned earlier, he's one of the few wings to successfully defend Kobe Bryant and LeBron James in series where his team beat them. Check out these playoff stats that compare him with Hall of Fame forwards from his era. Marion was right on par with these Hall of Fame forwards. Though he's fourth on the list in total playoff wins, he's second only to Chris Bosh in playoff winning percentage. But Shawn Marion's the only player on the list capable of guarding all 5 positions. The rest of them only guarded power forwards and centers. Interestingly, it seems that the crucial role that Marion played that's so vital to championship teams gets overlooked for some reason by the Hall of Fame. Marion's career numbers, when you consider his position, role, and versatility, are really unparalleled by any player in NBA history. The best comparison would probably be Scottie Pippen, though they had major differences to their games. Pippen was a far better playmaker when he played for the Bulls, but Shawn Marion was better off-ball as a rebounder, shot blocker, and shooter. We're not ripping on Pippen. He was incredible. Instead, we're just trying to drive home our point on how unbelievable and underappreciated Shawn Marion was. The fact that he should already be in the Hall of Fame. So the committee better do their damn jobs and vote him in. Basketball isn't all about scoring, and Marion's the type of superstar who proved it as one of the truly unique Swiss Army knives to ever play the game. But what do you guys think? Was Marion underappreciated, or are we off with our evaluation? Let us know what you think in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more sports news and insights.